Hi, my name is Mariah Starnes, and this is my video for Module 4, talking about KESA. I am an elementary art teacher at USD 428 in Great Bend, Kansas. I'm also considered an art on the cart teacher. I travel through 5 different schools in the district, and I had the privilege of having an assignment a few weeks ago through another class about KESA. I was able to talk to one of the principals at the school I was at the time, and I was able to, with this assignment, speak to a different principal from one of the other schools. So it was really nice to see how, even though I spoke with 2 different principals, how similar and close their information was. So I know that it's staying true, at least through 2 of the elementary schools that I teach at. Um, the first question asks about if our district is what model is it? Is it modeling or is it beginning? And the teacher that I recently just spoke to stated that we are currently in the implementing and transitioning. Um, our district is currently on year 5, and that's the final year before they move on to starting over again with the process. So the 2 R's that our district chose was relationships and rigor, sorry. And let's see, something that they wanted just to work on was relationships with the students and all the data that comes from the rigor as well. Um, when I spoke to the principal that I interviewed for this assignment, they when I asked them about what their leadership style or approach was, she stated that she had several. She definitely knew that she was not an authoritative leader, um, that she really enjoyed working with colleagues that wanted to learn and really believed that knowledge is power, and wanted to form a decision together. And she just kind of said, from my experiences with working with her for the past few months, since September, since it's my first year of teaching, to kind of just look and see what I would assume her leadership is. And I would say she's more of a participative leader. She definitely wants input, wants to sit around and talk about it, but she ultimately is the one that makes the choice. Um, let's see. And what areas for school improvements that we talk about. So we were talking about how we are working with relationships and rigor, and how we're not modeling yet. So we're implementing or transitioning. Um, what I would do to improve those. Let's see. Through standard 3, the equity and cultural responsiveness. We have a very large population of Hispanic students in our district. We are also considered a Title I district, which majority of the students are on free or reduced lunches. And so just from some things that I've noticed or seen at some of the schools, not necessarily oppressing some of the culturalness of the Hispanic community, um, but I've noticed or have witnessed a few teachers essentially shutting down whenever Spanish is spoken in certain schools, which I understand in a way. For those students that do not understand English at all, they're not necessarily going to learn unless they practice it. But at the same time, I didn't feel it was right for them to be cut off from their native tongue during school as well. So that's something that we can work to improve on with relationships through the community. Also spoke about or looked into Standard 7 for professional and community for teachers and staff. Um, as a art teacher and what they would consider a specials teacher, I feel that we sometimes kind of get overlooked, or um, it's easy for us to be shuffled around compared to other things. So we recently have been having a lot of testing, and our schedules aren't um, the same. We usually have a set schedule, and we've been kind of pushed around or asked to make adjustments for students to make to do testing or to fulfill other things like DARE, which are all important. Not to undermine what they are, but just kind of feeling a little left out due to that. And so, there's the professional community, I guess, wanting to feel respected as well for what I do, which I know we are all are test. There are students who are learning to be tested, but that doesn't mean we should kind of disregard the specials with that as well. And then the next standard would be standard 8, which is meaningful engagement in families and communities. That's something that we can improve on, kind of with the political and social climate for the Hispanic community. Um, we spoke at our district, one of the classes that we have throughout the district. A lot of people are scared. We may or may not have people legally here and have their students enrolled at our school, and they're not allowed to really disclose who was who, but um, just having the community know that we are here for them, um, no matter what's going on at Washington. So whether you agree or not, or who you voted for or not, just that safety, you know, having a meaningful engagement, not kind of just going through the motions when it comes to events and stuff for the students. So um, just being there. So that is all that I have for this video. So have a good evening.